Picture this. Your AI governance committee just approved a new clinical decision support tool. 6 months later, that tool flags a patient as low risk. The clinician disagrees, but defers to the algorithm. The patient is harmed. Now, the question, who's accountable? The vendor who built it? The IT team who deployed it? The committee who approved it? The clinician who followed it? Everyone had a piece. No one had the whole. This isn't hypothetical. Between 2022 and 2024, AI-related malpractice claims in healthcare increased 14%. And a recent study found that only 22% of hospitals are confident that they could produce a complete AI audit trail within 30 days if the regulator asked. We've built committees. We have not built accountability. And that gap, it's about to matter. So here's what most healthcare organizations assume. We have a committee. Therefore, we have governance. Well, we've gathered the right people: clinical, IT, legal, compliance. We review AI tools before they deploy. We meet quarterly. We check the box. And that assumption, of course, it makes sense because committees have worked for decades. Pharmacy and therapeutic committees. We've got quality committees, ethics committees. The model is proven, but AI is different, and the research tells us why. Back in 1968, psychologists discovered something troubling about group behavior. When a single person witnesses an emergency, they act 85% of the time. When you add more people to the room, that number drops to 31%. It's not because people don't care. It's because the responsibility starts to diffuse. Everyone assumes someone else will handle it. The more bystanders, the less any one person feels obligated to act. Psychologists call this the bystander effect. And here's where this connects to governance structure. AI governance committees can create the same exact dynamic. When a committee approves an algorithm, who owns the decision? Not the approval, the decision itself. The ongoing accountability for what that algorithm does in the real world. The answer is usually everyone and no one. Everyone has oversight, no one has ownership. The problem isn't that committees are bad. The problem is that we've confused two very different things: input and accountability. Multidisciplinary input is essential. We need to have clinical, technical, legal, and operational perspectives at the table. That's not negotiable. But the multidisciplinary accountability, that's an oxymoron. Input can be shared, ownership cannot. A committee can advise, a committee can review, a committee can recommend, but someone has to make a decision and someone has to sign. That signature is what creates accountability. Without it, everyone's problem becomes nobody's responsibility. Here's why it matters more for AI than for other governance domains. Traditional committees will govern stable, well-understood decisions. AI decisions are very dynamic. They drift, they adapt, they cross every functional boundary that we've drawn. Clinical teams own patient care, IT owns infrastructure, legal owns risk, operation owns workflow. AI does not respect those boundaries. It sits in all of them, which means that traditional committee structure, where each member governs their own domain, leaves all of those intersections ungoverned. And that's exactly where the failures happen. The algorithms that perform differently on your patient population than they did in validation. The models that drifted out of calibration without anyone noticing. The decision support tools that became decision-making tools, and nobody caught that shift. These weren't failures of intent, they were failures of ownership. So here's what I want you to do this week. Look at your AI governance structure, not the committee roster, not the meeting schedule, the accountability structure. Ask one question. If something goes wrong with an AI-influenced decision, is there one person who has to explain it? Not a committee, not a process, not a person. If you cannot name that person, there's your gap. And that's where the work begins. Because here's what I've observed. The accountability gap isn't just a committee problem, it's a visibility problem. And that's what we need to talk about next.